I support the idea of a whites only town, but only because I want those racist bigots out of my fucking city. If all of the racists live in one little town, honestly, you're doing us a community service because we don't want you here. It's so funny to watch white supremacists get pressed over the fact that we don't give a fuck that they are creating their own little whites only town. Like, if you're gonna be a racist bigot, honestly, I think the best thing you can do is go create your own little town so we don't have to fucking deal with you. If all of the bigots live in one town, I know where to avoid and who not to talk to. At that point, you're doing community service.
My name's Nikki, N-I-K-I, I'm 32. I'm a lady.
This is Return to the Land, a group of millennials who organised online to build something radical and controversial. A town for white people only, that they insist is completely legal. We spent several days with them, watching as the men set about the physical labour of building out the site. All the while, the women of the group took on the more typically trad, homesteading-type roles.
I guess I found the people through Twitter that ended up starting this project, actually spearheading it, and I went out to the first April event last year, and it was really fun.
The sort of white-only aspect of this, how important is that to you guys?
Given the premise that it's something that is kind of off limits for whites but is okay by implication for other groups, I do feel it's necessary to carve that out, and you kind of have to do it yourself.
It's kind of like, if we don't do this, the laws are only getting worse as far as freedom of association goes. So it's kind of like we have to do this, or there might come a time where it's not possible to.
Are you guys aware sort of people are going to be watching, it's going to be controversial?
I think people just have a large misunderstanding of what's happening here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the biggest misunderstanding?
Well,
That we hate everyone else. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's not about that
Yeah,
by any means.
it's a loving movement.
I mean, on that aspect of it being loving, I suppose the counter-argument would be, it could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, or if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do, and I think that's great for them. And it's like, if other people are allowed to do it, I don't really see why whites aren't allowed to do it. It doesn't make any sense. So it's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
The leader, Eric Orwell, wants the community to grow and further what he calls traditional white American culture. And the group is explicit about this. It has an online fundraiser to give cash rewards to parents of newborns as a means to incentivise population growth. Just before we arrived, they donated $1,000 to a family for having their 6th child.
Is that part of the mission as well, to sort of have big families, to make the community bigger? Is there a sort of pressure there?
I don't feel particularly myself, I don't feel any pressure to like have a big family. I think there's a kind of expectation here that you do want to, as part of helping grow this thing, that you're going to have kids.
Build was the 1950s? Well, this is Trump's America, so probably. According to new reports, a whites-only community could be coming to Missouri, with one already established in Arkansas. A man by the name of John Wesley Norton is trying to build what he calls a conservative, Christian, whites-only community outside of Springfield, Missouri. He says this community is for like-minded people. Let's be real, that means racists and segregation. This is in no way about values, this is about exclusion. It's about resurrecting white supremacy under the guise of freedom of association. And Missouri officials, they're silent, as you'd expect. They say nothing illegal is going on and it's private land. Since when did racism need a permit? If you're more upset about people protesting over the human rights violations of immigrants right now than you are about the resurrection of Jim Crow, then you're the problem. This isn't just a Missouri issue, this is a warning. Racism is alive and well, and it's buying land and building fences.
Well, I have a problem with exclusion, to be honest. I have a problem with exclusion and just fundamentally saying somebody is different because of their religion or the color of their skin. I mean, that's my personal opinion. How is this community funded? My understanding is you have something like a GoFundMe. Can you explain that?
The actual purchase of the property was funded by the community members themselves. And up to this point, almost everything that we've done has been our own initiative, our own resources. We've put up some fundraising campaigns, like a legal fundraiser that has been very successful. And that's necessary because many people would try to attack what we're doing as illegal. I've also raised funds to fund a tour to expand our projects, not just to full-time residential communities, but also recreational areas and community centers. I think it's good for the white community to have our own spaces, just like I think the black community should have its own spaces, and the Jewish community clearly has its own spaces.
But the way you put that is that there is a black community, a Jewish community, and so on and so on and so on. And a lot of people say that's not America anymore. That may have been America 70 years ago, but it's not today. America is a melting pot. You go to a place where I live, like Los Angeles, and there are pockets, but there's really no such thing as entire communities anymore. So that's not America anymore.
There are certainly Jewish community centers. Do you have a problem with that?
Well, I have a problem with exclusion, to be honest. I have a problem with exclusion and just fundamentally saying somebody is different because of their religion or the color of their skin. I mean, that's my personal opinion.
Hi guys, this is Tiana and you're watching Tiana's React. So can you believe in 2025, people are actually building a whites-only town in America, in Arkansas and even in Missouri, all in the name of trying to protect their race. But what's really happening is segregation reborn, and they are using legal loopholes to dodge discrimination laws while trying to promote racism. This is not a community, it's hate disguised as tradition. Well, let's dive in and watch other people's reactions to this.
So I was telling my daughter and her fiance about the whites only. This Jewish woman is like, let them all go. All the hateful white people take their orange leader with them. And as I'm telling my daughter's fiance, she was just cracking up.
It's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Like,
I thought Gen Z was supposed to be cool.
So, not allowed, person of color, not allowed, gay, Jewish, not allowed Jewish, and fucking glad they can keep all their hatred and white shit culture bullshit.
I'm gay, Jewish, a woman, and a witch. So
That's right. That's right.
You ever hear about that town in America being built just for white people? No? This is happening right now, though, in Arkansas. And honestly, we should all be seriously concerned about what this means for our country. Let's break this down. There's a group in Arkansas right now called Return to the Land, building what they call a fortress for the white race. This isn't a joke or a conspiracy theory. It's a real, fenced-in community, nearly 160 acres, run by a guy named Eric Orwell, where only people of European ancestry are allowed in. To even get in, you have to go through a vetting process where you literally prove you're white. They ban Latinos, blacks, Muslims, LGBT plus people. They homeschool the kids there, and they're literally growing up thinking segregation is normal. There are around 40 people living there right now, and hundreds more on a waiting list because this group plans to expand across the country. They want to build more towns like this. Here's why. They said it's about wholesomeness, beauty, health, and hope. But let's be honest, when your whole thing is keeping out anyone who doesn't look or pray like you, that's not hope. That's hate. And get this. They're legally structuring the town as a private members association with an LLC, so they think they can get around anti-discrimination laws. They say we've done thousands of dollars of legal research. The Attorney General of Arkansas even had to step in and say racial discrimination has no place in Arkansas or anywhere in a free society. But let's be real, these folks feel empowered right now. And you know why. Because this administration, the current president and his crew, they have normalized this kind of thinking. They talk about being anti-woke and then act surprised when stuff like this pops up. This is what happens when you make everything about fighting woke. You get people so scared of diversity that they go off and build an actual whites-only town. I have to ask, how much do you have to hate Latinos, black people, and anyone who isn't like you, that you'd rather build a walled-off settlement in Arkansas than live in the world with the rest of us? And what about the kids growing up there, learning this is what America's about? What happens when they leave and realize the world is more than just one color and one culture and one religion? Let's stop pretending this is just some fringe thing. These groups are popping up all over the country, and they're using the legal system, social media, and political climate to make segregation feel normal again. And I'm sorry, but that's not just anti-woke. That's anti-American. If you agree that this is not the direction our country should be heading, let me know in the comments. Also, if you disagree, I want to hear why.
A group of white supremacists has founded a 160-acre settlement in the Ozark Hills for white people only, and it's called Return to the Land. It was set up in 2023 by two men named Eric Orwell and Peter Cesare, and it explicitly bans Jewish people, LGBTQ individuals, and anyone who isn't a white Christian of European descent. In this case, it turns out Jews are not considered white after all. Now, this white-only town is vetting members through interviews and ancestry screening, and only those who can prove European roots are allowed in. Right now, about 40 people live there full-time, but hundreds more around the world have already paid for membership. And once accepted, members can buy land, but instead of traditional deeds, they're sold LLC shares tied to private plots. The group claims that this loophole lets them bypass civil rights housing laws. Well, joining us now is Gerard Filiti. He's a senior counsel at the Lawfare Project. So,
Okay, and before they go on, so essentially what I got from this was I seen a video about this also on Twitter. And I believe it was one on TikTok as well. They have articles about it too. It's in Arkansas. So the town is not for black people, it's not for Jewish people, just like she said, and it's only for Christian white people. Right? So if you're white and you have some black in you, then you are not allowed in that town. Okay? And if you ask me if this is okay, if they pay for it and they say this is private property and blah, blah, blah cannot come here, or you can't come here if you don't look like this, then I don't have a problem not going there. Okay, I think it's a problem that we have today where everybody thinks that everything should and is for them, and I firmly believe that that shit is not true at all. Welcome to the DeMarco effect. You'll get the full effect of me. Okay, that might sound fucked up to some people. Like, hey, just because I'm black or Jewish or Asian or whatever, I should be able to enter there and go to their town. But my whole point is, why would you want to go somewhere where someone tell you you're clearly not welcomed? That's the entitlement of you. Don't get yourself in trouble because you have pride and an ego. You have to drop that and don't worry about it, especially if that's not near you. Okay, but we'll continue with the video and what they're saying. But I just firmly don't believe in going somewhere where you're not wanted. Doesn't matter if you're allowed, but if you're not wanted.
So guys, the Whites Only project is strong on every level. It drags America backwards into segregation, racism, and wars. It hides under the law to survive. If this is allowed to continue, it sends one message, just one message, that hate can still win. And that's exactly why we must call it out, and call it out now. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Do well to like, share, and of course subscribe to support the channel. Till next time.